difficult is this matchup with not only two of the elites, but a surrounding team, the surrounding parts that are pretty good?
It's going to be a great challenge. Obviously, they got a deep roster. They made changes, middle of the season to improve the team. Obviously, LeBron, AD are playing at elite levels. We didn't play one game this year with both of them on the floor, so trying to figure that out is going to be interesting. Getting used to their lineup combinations, their play styles. They're playing really good basketball right now. They've been playing high-level basketball, obviously getting through the play-in tournament. It's going to be a great matchup. There's going to be a lot of focal points, obviously, on James and Davis, but Reeves is playing well. Schroeder's giving us problems. Russell's playing well. Other guys coming off the bench, whether it's Beasley, Vanderbilt, his aggressiveness defensively, so it's a great challenge.
I was looking at how you guarded Vanderbilt last year in the playoffs, and you notice sometimes he's a good cutter. When you play off of him, he crashes the offensive glass. What are some of the things you have to do? Like if you sag off of him, he tries to take advantage of. What are some of the things you have to do to kind of limit his offensive rebounding and his cutting and those type of things?
I think the biggest thing is your awareness. We'll execute whatever coverages we need out there, given his personnel tendencies. But knowing that when he's cutting, he's crashing the boards. He's great from the corners, great from the wings. We just have an alertness to that. It's the guy that's guarding him. It's guys that are going to be in rotation behind guys that are guarding him. So he's definitely going to be a focal point, especially on the offensive end.
They've had I think it might be the biggest foul disparity in the NBA this year. What does that mean for you guys?
Go play aggressive defense without fouling as best as possible.
Speaking of the aggressive defense, you have two aggressive players in Dylan and Jaren that likes to be aggressive. So how do you get them to tamper or play to the officials on a regular basis?
Yeah, I've just talked to them about, how they've got to be smart. We can't get any silly fouls out there. They accumulated quite a bit of fouls in the three-game matchup against them. Understanding where those fouls are created, whether it's Davis, it's James, Reeves is drawing a lot of fouls, Schroeder's drawing a lot of fouls, and it's free throws, it's, the offensive rebounding, it's the downhill drives. We got to be smart, and I told them the importance of those guys being on the floor. We need them on the floor, and the team understands that. Those guys understand that. There's it's going to be a great challenge, in a deep series. Each game is going to present opportunities to play physical, or you're going to have to back off a little bit. So you're going to have to rely on just more activity and sound team defense more than just individual aggressive defense. So it's going to be ebbs and flows, but we know these guys are capable. They understand what the game plan is, who they're going up against, how they got to improve, and we're going to have to play through good times and maybe some tough times too.
I think the last time that you talked, you said something about play with the past, but what do you mean by that?
We got to share the ball. We've got to be unselfish. Teams, they're going to load the paint. They're going to dare us to, kick it out. We're not going to play hero ball out there. It's, everyone, when the ball's in your hand, you got an opportunity to make a decision. It's to make a play. It's not necessarily to score. It's also to pass. I think recently we've really talked about not necessarily the number of passes, but just our willingness and the spacing around and seeing how defenses are guarding us. I think the last couple of weeks have been really good for us to see that. It's not just on Ja and Tyus. It's on Dez making right plays, DB making right plays, JJ making right plays, X is making right plays. It's everybody. So that's what we're talking about, just the willingness to pass. I said at the end of the day, we'll talk about the defensive stuff, but if we can run in space like we need to and we can just pass the ball, we're going to have a great chance to win a lot of games.
Dylan said something the other day that was really interesting to me about how he'll see which referees are reffing the game, and that kind of will dictate in certain ways how aggressive he is defensively as a coach. When you see, the referee assignments before games, is that something that kind of goes into, your approach as well?
Yeah, we understand, maybe some tendencies, what officials are focused on. They may call this more, they may let you be more physical. So we have an understanding of that. We're not trying to go overboard because we still got to play 48 minutes of, it's unpredictable basketball out there. You can't always just lean on just one thing being the clue to how you're going to have success in that game. So obviously we're aware of, the officials that'll be in the game, but it's really at us and our game plan, our mentality, and our execution.
How much different is this team going to the playoffs this year compared to last with the jumps that Dez and Jaren have both made?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of great individual improvement. Dez and JJ, especially as you mentioned. Talking pre-play-in tournament, not even knowing who we're playing, just talking about what our mentality's got to be, what are the things that we've learned from the previous, two playoff experiences. I think there's a maturation process. I always talk about, natural evolution year to year. So just seeing the things that the guys are grasping, what matters to win at the playoffs. playoff level. It's what you do on the court, off the court. It's your mentality going into games. It's how you handle adversity in the games. So those are things that we've talked about. The level of execution, the small things, how that matters. Every game's going to be different. Every opponent's going to be different. But how we're just valuing this opportunity, embracing it. That's the biggest thing that we've talked about as a team. You see them openly talking about it. You can see it in their body language, their eyes, the words they're using, the approach in practice, and all that. So they're the things that have stood out. It's hard to tell that over the course of a regular season, but when you're locking in the playoffs, I think our guys have really learned from the last two. But now the test is to go out and do it.
Taylor, how hard is the wait? Because there's so much excitement. Even when you look at the all 8 series, it seems like this one is the spotlight series. The city's jacked. You guys are excited, but you still have to wait. It's still like 3 or 4 more days away. Is the wait hard, or is there enough work to get done between now and Sunday? That's what the focus is on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you have a week in between games, you're going to have to navigate that. So I think our guys are fired up to play right now, but I think they know it's a process to kind of go through the game plan, the personnel tendencies, let that sink in and settle in. Obviously we're going to be off tomorrow. We've been going the last 3 days and trying to manage our bodies and our minds appropriately as well. We'll have a great practice on Saturday, early game on Sunday. So I think it's appropriate work. The first day, of the week, we kind of dove in on us, just practicing our standards, our fundamentals, all that. Yesterday we did the install, so now naturally first practice with an install, but you don't want to overdo it either. So you don't want to get kind of stir crazy. So taking a little time off tomorrow is going to be great. Guys can focus on their bodies, let their minds rest, dive back in on Saturday, and hopefully take care of business on Sunday.
John also mentioned, I know you guys are really day-to-day, but he talked about big picture. He's like, this is the second straight year we're the 2 seed. And 2 years ago we made the first round. Last year was the second round. We don't want to continue that and just make the third round. Do you sense that this is a team that, look, it's all in, that the big goal, the goal that you guys talk about, in training camp is to win the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, our ultimate goal is to win a championship for sure, and seeing the guys believe in that and understand that. As I said, only time will tell, but the things that we've been trying to do over the course of the season, it's ups and downs. You got to navigate in 82 games, but now locking in for hopefully a long run, they understand it's a one day at a time thing, and just seeing so many different guys step up in practice, in our film sessions, in our team meetings, talking about what we really have to focus on, and seeing everyone nodding heads, believing in it, the trust that they have with each other. Obviously the chemistry that we have as a group is huge. The corporate knowledge, what we've learned the last 2 years, has been important for us. I do see belief, but I think our guys understand it's not going to be easy because of the way that they talk about us. Oh, it's not just going to be gifted to us. We're the 2 seed. We have home court advantage. Whatever it is, we know the challenge ahead is just being the best that we can be each and every day, and that's a marathon. It's not going to just happen overnight. We got to go earn it.
How meaningful is it to you personally to be coaching against Darvingham in a playoff series, and the fact that you guys are so familiar with each other, does that present any advantages, disadvantages?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor. I mean, obviously, when you get to go up against one of your best friends, I mean, obviously, if he probably gets asked the same question, he's probably going to say, "I can't wait to kick his tail." My focus is on beating him. We'll be friends before and after in it. We're going to be competitors, but great competitors. The tendency piece. Obviously, I've got a feel for how competitive this group's going to be, how organized he's going to have that group. You see it. Especially in their recent play, having midseason trades and all that, getting them. LeBron with his injury and just getting guys back, whole. I see a lot of things that I saw when I worked with Darvin. So this team's going to come out. They're going to be super aggressive. They're going to be super competitive. They're going to execute at a really high level. Those are things I expect out of a Darvingham team. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great challenge going against one of my best friends, and my focus is on beating them.
Hey, Coach, 6 days is a long time to be off for a shooter. I know shooting in the gym and shooting in the game ain't the same. How you keep Luke and Dez, because they was on a nice little swing before that break came out. How you keep them fresh to keep it hot so they don't get rusty?
Make it as much available as possible to have a basket in front of them that they can go practice on. So yeah, I mean it's the nature of it with a couple of days off, but these guys are wired very specially. That's why they're able to go out there and play extremely well, especially shoot it really well. They're going to be big factors in the series for sure, but they have the appropriate one to take a little breather and then diving back to the work. They've been great the last couple of days.
Coach, when you walk around this week, do you feel the energy of the city kind of ready for the playoffs when you go do whatever you have to do in the league?
Yeah, I mean, you just see all the signage everywhere. You see people wearing Grizzlies gear everywhere, schools, businesses. Obviously this is like the Spirit Week, leading up to the playoffs. It's awesome that everyone's embracing that. I talk about all the time the support that this city shows for the team is special. It's second to none. We know that, how prideful our fans are of us, and, we got to play, proud for our city, what we represent with that name across our chest. So you see it. I know there's probably, I think, a fan plaza event coming up soon. I can't wait till Sunday with the grout towels out there, and obviously all the entertainment leading up to it, the introductions, the energy in that building is going to be special. We've been riding that energy all season long. Absolutely need to have it in the playoffs.